promised, with me now, the host of the Glenn Beck program, Glenn Beck. Glenn, where are you? How are you?
I am at home. I have a case of the 24-hour swine flu.
Oh,
I was up last night. I had a fever and just felt horrible. And I don't want to. Here, I want to make sure that nobody accuses me of lying. Do we have the memo that went out?
Yeah. I have a memo from one of your folks in your behalf. It's 8:11 this morning.
The timestamp, I want you to look for anybody who works at The View. The timestamp is there. It's 8:11 a.m.
You know, it says Glenn is feeling very under the weather this morning, worse than he has felt in a long time. He will give up his obligation to The View this morning, but he's going to have to go directly home and skip the show off that. He's already off radio.
Okay. So now here's the thing. I only want to put that timestamp on there because I don't want anybody to accuse. Now, I don't know who sent this email first and, who received it. I can't tell you that. I was on The View this morning, Judge, and it turned into 7 minutes. I mean, I knew it was going to be bad. It turned into 7 minutes of the most ridiculous who said hello to whom first I've ever seen.
Well, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. The government is trampling our liberties. Israel and Iran are pointing fingers and maybe guns at each other. The Speaker of the House of Representatives is saying the CIA lies. And these people asked you who said hello to whom first on a train last week?
Yes. Well, Judge, you listen to my radio show. I tell stories. I talk about, the experiences of my life and everything else. And I told the story about riding on the train with the two ladies of The View. And apparently I was a liar because I said that, which is true, that Barbara Walters said hello to me. Instead, it was I said hello to Barbara Walters. I walked up to her and I guess that's what we need to spend our time on for 7 minutes.
All right. I think in the second segment, after all this nonsense, you finally had the chance to have a serious conversation. We have a clip of it. Let her rip, Gresh.
I don't trust any of them. They all get into a situation to where they say, well, I'll compromise on my values here because I won't get elected next time. Right. And so I'm too important to lose. None of them are too important. None of them fear the people. Mm-hmm. None of them are serving the people. I can't say none of them. No, but generally speaking, the parties stand for nothing except for get us elected. That's all they stand for. I'd like to see the individuals in the party stand up and say, this is what I believe.
All right, so you're talking about big government in both parties there, and I detected a little bit, as sick as you were, of one of my favorite quotations from Jefferson: when the people fear the government, that's tyranny, but when the government fears the people, that's liberty. I assume that's what you were referring to these knuckleheads.
Yes, thank you, Judge, for recognizing the words of Thomas Jefferson. Yes, exactly right.
I had to recognize it through your nose, Glenn.
Let me ask you this, Judge. If Thomas Jefferson were on a train and he saw some members of The View, do you think it would be important to figure out who said hello to whom first?
Only if the members of The View on their own show were afraid of confronting the real, serious, hard issues of the day.
Well, I would hate to have Thomas Jefferson, on a train and have Thomas Jefferson walk up to one of them and say, well, hello, I'm Thomas Jefferson, because then they might be uncomfortable because they're like, hey, he doesn't sound like that.
Right. So listen, I'm sitting in the radio room today, and Kilmeade's on vacation and are off for the day, and I'm having a blast. All of a sudden, Gresham Striegel walks in, and I go, okay, Gresh, what is it? And he says, what are you doing at 5 o'clock today? I said, I'm going to be on the stationary bike watching Beck. He goes, I think you're going to be in the studio. He's sick as a dog. This was at 9:20 this morning.
Well, that just contradicts the 8:11 timestamp that we have. See, Judge, now, what's going on? What kind of conspiracy? Did you call me or did I call you on the show?
There's the email sent at 8:11 this morning from one of your people to Gresh saying,
who would go on national radio and say he introduced himself or they introduced themselves to him, when indeed the truth, Your Honor, is that he introduced himself to them.
Oh, boy. Are you going to be back tomorrow, big guy?
I'm going to go. I'm going to hang up the phone, take a little more NyQuil, and so I can rest medicine.
We'll see you tomorrow. Get better, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget, Glenn.